Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host Glenn Boddice, Spiritual Medium. Thank you for tuning in for another very interesting episode. As in this week's show, we're going to be looking at the topic spiritual awakening. Also in this week's episode, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdoms and communications through. And then later on in the episode, we have a sneaky peek into this week's forecast reading. So let's crack right on. We've got lots to deep dive into this week. As I say, we're going to be talking about spiritual awakening. So let's dissect this subject in great detail. So let's go through the process. Spiritual awakening can be literally life-changing. It can be traumatic in some cases. It can be an absolute revelation in other cases. It all depends on the individual and your soul path and what you've agreed to prior to coming down here and having the incarnation in your current life. So let's go a little bit deeper with this. So basically, spiritual awakening, it starts when you start to notice more things. You become more observant about your senses, your sight, your speech even, your hearing, temperature changes. You're aware of all sorts of elements within yourself. But also you'll notice that your spiritual awakening has occurred because your vibration changes. And when your frequency and vibration changes, then the elements within your life that you're currently experiencing have to change in order to match up and stay current with your new vibration. So with this being said, you'll begin to notice that people around you, maybe friendship circles, maybe even family members or work colleagues, will start to drift away from you, and you'll think that it's something that you've said, that you've done, or something of that nature, and you'll become slightly paranoid of this fact. But in actual fact, what is occurring, like we say, your frequency, your vibration is changing to such a degree that these elements within your life, these people, are no longer matching and aligning with your vibration. And in some cases, they can find themselves feeling rather uncomfortable in your presence. And this is, again, please do not take this personal. It's nothing that you're saying, nothing that you're doing as such. It's that your energy has changed, and it triggers them in some way to a point where it makes them either having to face their own insecurities or their own misdemeanors or belief systems, or they can choose not to. And most people like to be comfortable and live their best life from their own perspective. And so a lot of people choose not to do that inner work. And I can understand why, because it's not an easy task, let's face it, to do all of that and live your life as well. So I get it, I understand it. But also you'll notice items or objects will start to move out your life, like things breaking down, such as vehicles or such as equipment, TV, or if you're a musician, a guitar or something, an amplifier or something of that nature. Then these things can change as well, and they're no longer in vibrational alignment with you. And with that being the case, they move out of your experience of them. It's a very frustrating and peculiar time when everything appears to be going wrong or something is happening around you. And you think, oh, why this is happening? But I believe, in my personal experience, it is your vibration is changing and a spiritual awakening is occurring during this time while you're noticing all of these things. You'll notice also experiences moving out of your life as well. Now, this could be anything that you've done for years, that you enjoy, that you like, and you've either done it as a habit or you've done it out of obligation. You may find that some of these circumstances start to move out your life. And again, when it's all happening at once, you're asking the big question, well, why is this happening? Why me? This is not fair. Oh my word. Why? That is the predominant word that you'll be utilizing in your mind during this time. And I'd like to say that start to look at it from another perspective. These things are moving out of your life simply because your vibration has changed. You're having a spiritual awakening. And as I say, these elements within your life that resonate at a certain frequency do no longer resonate with you because you've moved on from them on a vibrational level. So they have to move out of your vibrational circle, if you like. And with this being the case, usually what happens is there's a period of quiet time settling down after these things have been let go of. And in other aspects, it can be quite a quick transition. But what you find is something better ends up entering your experience within your life that aligns with you, that makes you feel more comfortable. And you'll notice that you'll expand and grow as this unfolds. So I want to encourage you that are maybe having these encounters at this moment in time to just persevere with it. Have some patience. Think differently. Think outside the box. And have that mantra sort of echoing around your mind that things are here to serve me. Experiences, people, everything is here to serve your highest good. So if you start viewing life from that perspective whilst you're going through your spiritual awakening, then you will go with ease and grace. There will be less resistance from yourself, and it will make more sense why it's happening in your life, because it can be very, very frustrating. With spiritual awakening as well, there's an increased level of sensitivity. And so what I mean by that is that your physical senses will be turned up to 11, if I can use that term. So maybe where you've dulled things out of your experience, they're going to be increased. And so you'll recognize maybe your hearing will be improved, or you'll hear things, sounds, voices that weren't there before. You may notice emotions of not just your own, but picking up on other people's feelings, even though they're masking them and they're hiding them away. And you ask them, are you all right? And they say, yeah, I'm all right. But you're feeling their energy. You know that they're not all right, and you know that there's an issue. And sometimes when you're in a room full of people that are all going through different elements within their life, can create an energetic soup where things to a highly sensitive individual can be slightly overwhelming. And you've heard me mention before that we are all transmitters and receivers of energy and information. So if you can imagine that you being a receiver, you're amplified, that's boosted, you're more sensitive, you're going to pick up on more information. And it can be slightly overwhelming when you do start to realize this. With this increased sensitivity as well, you'll also get a vibe. You'll pick up on, like I say, people's emotions, even people's thought patterns and what they're thinking. And initially, when you have that experience, it's quite something else, because we assume straight away, because we're having that thought in our mind, that it is our thoughts. And that's not necessarily the case. As I say, being a transmitter and receiver of information, you'll be broadcasting your thoughts and emotions out there into the ether. And with this increased level of sensitivity, you'll be picking up on other people's. So it's good to question the thoughts, question the information that is in your head and what you are experiencing. Because when you do reach this increased level of sensitivity, more likely a lot of that information is not yours, even if it is being experienced in your mind. With some of the symptoms of spiritual awakening, now some of them aren't pleasant, but I'm going to fill you in with some of the details just to let you know, in case you are going through this right here, right now, because there's always a shift in vibration globally, collectively. And some of these things I'm going to describe to you, you may be going through, and there's no medical explanation for it. Then this is what you're going through, a spiritual awakening. So the first thing is sickness, feeling disorientated, feeling dizzy, and sometimes feeling sick for no reason, like you can't keep your food down, or maybe your eyes see something, it makes you feel sick, that sort of dizziness feeling as well. It makes you feel disorientated. You may also find that you'll be visiting the toilet a lot more for either number ones or number twos. This is also one of the symptoms, and simply what's happening there is your physical body is releasing, quite literally, some old toxins, some old energetic information from the physical body, and this is one of the quickest ways it can do that. So if you are finding yourself visiting the bathroom more times often than not, and you've had it checked out by a medical professional and they can't explain it, then I would say that this is also one of those symptoms as well. Also, one of the common ones is ringing in the ears. Now, this is medically also termed as tinnitus or tinnitus, but in my experience, a lot of this is actually you increasing your sensitivity, and your ears are ringing because you're hearing a different frequency that you wasn't able to attune to or understand or hear prior to going through this experience. Now, if I could break down that experience a little bit more with the ringing in the ears, I would describe it as a high-pitched, shrill tone. So like if you imagine that, and it happens for anything from 10 seconds to a minute and a half. And whilst you're hearing it, it will feel like you've got either a knitting needle going through your brain as well. It feels like there's an electrical charge or signal going through your brain. And anybody that's experienced brain freeze, where you like pause and you like judder, you will have that experience along with a high-pitched, shrill frequency tone. As a rule of thumb, what I have noticed and what my guides have informed me of what is happening is when I'm hearing this high-pitched shrill noise, and it happens in the left ear, then my guides have said that this is angelic, high vibrational frequency downloads being installed into myself as a vessel. Now, I've questioned this, and they've said, well, they've used the analogy, let's put it this way, that if you imagine, well, most of us have this, a mobile phone. We know that every month or two, the phone sends us an alert that we need to upgrade the system on the phone, and it will do this usually automatically. And so it upgrades the handset so that it can work more efficiently with the new technology and the new applications that are continually being updated and stored in your phones. Well, using that analogy, this is what's happening with the energy frequency downloads, the angelic side that's coming in. And it's upgrading your physical vessel so that it can sustain its vibration and contain all of this information so that you can experience life at the highest level and you can function with ease and grace. Now, with this being said, also it can have an impact on your DNA. DNA could be upgraded. Again, that would increase your sensitivity. Your immune system would be upgraded as well. All of your senses would be upgraded to a point where you can experience life on a new vibrational level in this frequency range that you've moved into on your spiritual awakening. Now, we're all continually growing and expanding vibrationally, so it does happen every now and again. I can't give you a time and a date of how long it happens before it happens again. It's, I would say, when you're vibrationally matched and ready to be open and receptive of this information coming in. Now, when you experience a duller, I want to call it a duller shrill tone, and this happens in the right ear, to me, it's been described to me by my guides that this is them, the guides, your spirit team, your soul group, they're coming in and drawing close to you, bringing in packets of information, maybe information or knowledge or wisdom that you have no idea of, you've never experienced before. And they're bringing that into your vibration so that maybe it will help with your day-to-day life, such as some of the random tasks that we all have to do every single day. Or maybe if you're like me and you conduct doing private readings and things of that nature, then some of the information and the wording may be downloaded into your vibration because of that and you needing to use it. Now, also, I believe as well, and what I understand is various points of your vocabulary may change as well. And this could be down to the fact that you've received some of these downloads and your friends and family may even notice that you're using a different set of words in your vocabulary. And this is potentially because you've heightened your vibration and you'll be more articulate with your communications because of this process. So also some of the other symptoms, you may notice that your temperature, your body temperature goes hot 1 minute, boiling hot, like you're in Tenerife sunbathing hot, or it can go the complete opposite, where you're shaking as if you're in Siberia and your temperature will fluctuate from one to the other. Potentially this is you either receiving healing, because with healing energy, it can be hot or cold. It's whatever needs to be aligned with your vibration at that moment in time is the definitive method of, I would say, temperature that is used. So this is also, it can be frustrating because you can feel 1 minute, you're taking your t-shirt off and, you're putting it back on and then you're putting a jumper on and then you're putting it back off again. And so you don't know where you stand with it. I would always recommend that before simply saying, oh, I'm going through a spiritual awakening, I would always recommend that you go and seek medical professional help before you start to say it's a spiritual awakening. But however, these are part of the symptoms nevertheless. But I just thought I'd point that out. Also, what you may notice, another symptom is getting a lot of hyperactivity. So what am I talking about? Where you're either over talking, you can't keep still, you're irritable, that was the word I was after, combine the two then. And you're just finding yourself on the go all of the time and you can't seem to, you can't seem to shake that off for some reason. People may even notice that. And this is because your energy has changed. It's an increased level of energy. As you know, when you become a lot more sensitive, you're more open to information and so forth. I believe that this hyperactivity is a combination of your vibration, the energy around you in your environment, and also the energy of the spirit world and the other dimensions all interplaying with you in that same space in time. So do watch out for that. You may notice, or it may be said to you, that you seem to be having a lot of mood swings as well. So your temperament changes with spiritual awakening. You can feel agitated 1 minute and very frustrated, borderline angry. And in the next moment, you can feel very, very happy indeed, very content, overly caring, overly loving as well. And you can you can display a lot of those traits. So I believe a lot of your family, friends and loved ones will pick up on that before you even do. But when you do realize, you'll be, I didn't realize I was doing that. Oh, I do apologize. And you'll start to be more, I would say, observant of your vibration once that is mentioned to you. Also, your physical sight, your vision, you'll notice a change with that. So sometimes you'll notice that your eyes will go a little bit blurry and then sharper into focus. And sometimes you'll notice that your eyes will feel like anybody that's been swimming to the swimming baths, and you go swimming and you get that water, the chlorine and everything in your eyes, and you come out and your eyes are a little bit blurry and then they go sharper again. It's that sort of sensation. With this being said, your vision will be upgraded to a point where you'll start to see, I would say, flashes of colours out the side of your eyes, different shapes, movement. Anybody that's seen a cat, they're stimulated by movement. So you'll have that ability and you'll start to notice things a lot more. This is because you've tapped into another vibrational frequency, and therefore you're being party to witnessing the activity in that frequency plane there as well. One of the most common things with the symptoms of knowing you're in a spiritual awakening is the electrostatic tingling sensation. Now, I'll describe that to you a little bit further. So what it feels like, anybody that's, if you remember the old-fashioned TVs and used to walk up to it, turn it off, and you put your hand in front of the TV and you'd hear a crackle noise and you'd feel like a magnetic charge just beneath your hand and that device. Well, to me, that's like electrostatic, and you'll feel that around your body. Usually for me, it occurs up the spine, so the central nervous system, and it will feel like a tingling feeling, like movement under your skin. And then you'll notice it rising up, gaining its intensity. And you'll feel that vibration, that energy, that force behind it. So it'll feel tingly, prickly, and it will consume, I want to say, the physical vessel, the body. So it will start down the spine and it will get stronger, and you may feel it around your arms, your head, your face, and then move down the legs. It can change depending upon the individual and how much they're willing and not willing to simply experience. But it does start with the spine in my experience. And sometimes you may want to judder or shake your body as this is happening, because it's very noticeable when it does happen. And I want to say this is you understanding and connecting in with vibration, with frequencies. And as we know, spirit energy utilize this way of communicating with us by stepping into our auric field, the energy around our physical body. And in fact, when you're more observant of the aura, that energy, you'll notice when other people's energy, their aura, connects in with your aura, because it brings a similar sensation about, that electrostatic tingling sensation, and you get that judder. So to me, you'll have more of those encounters, and the first time you have it, it's a feeling like no other. You cannot describe it. It's hard. It's took me all this time, all these years, to formulate these words to describe when you're connecting in with energy or different environments or other people's auras. So yeah, once you've had it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and you'll be like, yes, I know that feeling. It is very unique. It's very peculiar. And in fact, in many respects, I see it as a great way of actually understanding from the get-go that you're connecting in with different energy other than your own. And then this is where you use your intellectual mind, and you'll start asking questions to either spirit guides or your higher self to ascertain more information that will establish what it actually is that you're experiencing whilst you're picking up on that electrostatic, tingling, energetic vibration. So a few of the symptoms there, but moving on, what you will notice, now it depends upon your persuasion, whether you perceive it as a good thing or a bad thing. I'll leave that to you to decide, but you'll find that you'll be spending more time alone. And if you're a socialite and you're very busy as an individual, and then all of a sudden you find that these people are moving out of your social circle, and you come home of an evening and you're spending more time in your own energy, in your own vibration, then potentially this is what is also occurring there. It is part of that ascension symptoms and the spiritual awakening that we're talking about. You'll also feel a deep craving of nature and to be in or around nature or around animals as well. And so, yeah, you'll get that, I need to go and walk by water. That is a common one, maybe still water like a lake, or I need just to walk down the side of a river, or even go out into the countryside. Woodland is a popular one, and you've probably heard me talk about this a few times, where I love, as it's now commonly known as forest bathing, where you get into that forest environment and allow your energy to blend with the energy of the forest and the woodland. And there's an amazing energy exchange that does occur where you can ascertain healing, and also the land itself can gain nourishment off of your old vibrations that you no longer need. And so it's a wonderful exchange and a wonderful experience. So you may find yourself being magnetically drawn to those locations. And there is method in the madness why you are going to be drawn to that, because you'll be shedding a lot of the old energies that you've been carrying around up until this point. And with you going through this transitional phase of a spiritual awakening, you'll begin to notice that those energies are no longer required in your vibration. So by, shall we use a modern term, an energy dump, going to nature to let go of some of this energy, just simply by being there, not doing anything physically, just walking or maybe sitting in these environments, you'll notice there'll be a substantial change in your vibration once you've done that. You may feel elated, slightly lightheaded, slightly dizzy, and really, really hungry as well as a result of going through this experience. So yeah, do watch out for that. That is an important one. You'll also notice that you'll want to drink more water. Now, this is particularly interesting to people who have said for many years, I don't like water. Even though we need it, it's one of life's ingredients. And they may say, I can't drink water on its own. I have to have cordial in it, or have to have fruit in it, or something of that nature. Anyway, you'll find that you'll have a natural craving and desire to drink more mineral water, to the point where you're drinking a couple of litres or more a day. And what you'll find that water is an amazing, as you already know, conductor of energy and vibration. And so this is only going to assist with your spiritual awakening, as for one, it's going to flush out some of those toxins and old vibrations that you've been carrying around with you. And this is also potentially going to make you go to the loo a few more times than you normally would do. But however, water is a great, as I say, conductor of energy. And what I find when I'm doing any energy work, working with clients or spirit work or channeling, or even playing with the band doing drumming, I'm always drinking lots of water. And I find that there's no sort of substitute for that. I mean, there's a lot of people that have energy drinks, caffeine and things like that to get that energy boost. But what I find personally is that the water in itself will do that when you become more sensitive. And not only will it quench your thirst, but it will give you additional energy that nothing else seems to do at this level. So do watch out for that. And, just choose your water wisely. I mean, people say that water is water, but in actual fact, it all contains a vibration where it's been bottled at source, maybe, the pipes as it's come through. So you'll be magnetically drawn to what water that you need to consume more of. You'll also notice your lifestyle beginning to change as well with a spiritual awakening. Some of the obvious ones are the way that you consume entertainment. Now, we all do this in this modern world, don't we, where we watch certain films, TV shows, and it keeps us subdued, comfortable, shall we say, and we find it relaxing. It helps us to recuperate as well. But what you'll find when you go through a spiritual awakening is some of maybe your favorite shows at the time will begin to change. You will no longer tolerate them. They will give you the ick, using a modern term, and you'll find them very uncomfortable to be in the vibration of. So you may find yourself removing slowly those elements out of your life. And I'll give you a quick example of this with myself. Many, many years ago, growing up, I used to love horror films. I was a massive horror fan. In fact, I was aiming to be a special effects makeup artist, but for whatever reason, that didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. But anyway, the reason I mention this is because I was noticing when I was watching this sort of media and entertainment with the horror films, that it was causing me massive amounts of adrenaline rushes, as they do to most people. But it was exhausting me. I felt tired. I felt lethargic. I didn't have the get up and go. And I just noticed that I just felt down in myself having watched them. And so to me, this was a telltale sign that I couldn't, well, I had the choice, as we all do. I couldn't put myself through that experience every time. So I decided to remove those forms of entertainment out of my life. And in doing so, I replaced that with comedy. And I find that adds value, chills me out, and makes me feel more aligned. So you may notice this changing as well as you change with your spiritual awakening. Also, with this being said, you will notice socializing as well with friends and family and loved ones, and that you may not feel compelled to go out and socialize because vibrationally it feels uncomfortable to you. You may feel irritated by it because not only are you socializing, through words, communication, but also because of this increased level of sensitivity, you're having various forms of communication all at the same time with all the same people. So I'm talking about you'll pick up on their thoughts, you'll pick up on their emotions, their feelings, their physical aches and pains. And when you're in, I would say, a group of people and they're all expressing different forms of energetic information, most people don't even realize they're doing it. And that's not their fault. It's just the way that we're designed. It can be quite overwhelming for the sensitive there. So you'll try and avoid doing that at great lengths so that you can maintain your peace and serenity. Also, with this being said, you want to avoid all forms of drama. So we've all heard people talking and telling stories about other people's business, and they'll be reveling in the information and saying, oh, I wouldn't have done that. Oh, and he did this, she did that. Well, that's a form of drama, and they're putting their spin and energy onto that form of drama. Some people see that as entertainment, and they're very interested by that. And I'm not judging by saying this, but that is obviously their choice to do that. But the awakened mind and the awakened soul will find this increasingly draining to their vibration, and you'll find that it'll start to pull your energy down to such a level where it's hard to function doing the easy day-to-day tasks, such as getting up in the morning, making your breakfast, driving, getting out of the house. It can be overwhelming, even more so. And so when you realize this, you'll begin to start and filter out drama or perceived dramas that is in and around your vibration. So you'll watch out for that. And instead of doing that, you will favor peace above anything else. Now, what is peace? Again, it's down to personal perception. But in my experience, peace is a place where you can feel comfortable, at ease and at grace, where you're not overstimulated, where you feel relaxed, calm, where you feel content, where you feel that unconditional love, and you just feel in a beautiful space where you can be yourself without no judgment and no drama, shall we say. So that is my definition of my peace. And I love it. Yeah, I favor peace every single time, and it's such a blissful experience. You also show a level of gratitude in that space. And obviously, as you know, that when you show level of gratitude, the universe picks up on that, and it gives you more for you to be grateful for. So it is a nice experience, but it does take an element of practice to get used to dropping into that peace and that stillness and that quietness there. Also, you'll notice that you'll be needing less sleep, or your sleep patterns are interrupted when you become more sensitive to vibrations. And it will be frustrating in the beginning, and it can be quite aggravating, as you can expect, losing elements of your sleep there. But what I will say is, if you manage to have time in your day to sit in the silence, or you've got the TV on in the background, you may find yourself catnapping for 10, 20 minutes at the most. And that will feel like a full night's sleep to you. It will actually recharge your batteries, your energy. And so you will not miss out on your rest. It will always come back to you in one way or the other. Also noticing that you'll be magnetically drawn to the things that match your new vibration. So as I say, your vibration has changed, and therefore your experience of the world and your life will change with it. So the things that do enter your life will have to align with you. And so you'll be magnetically pulled to one another. So this could be people, social circles, could be jobs, could be friends, it could be animals, it could be objects such as cars, houses, computers, could be anything, clothing, hairstyles. It will all change as you change vibrationally. And it's quite an unusual thing when it happens, because I've had to eat my own words many times. Things I have said, oh, I don't like that. I'd never do that. No, I'm not choosing that. Why would somebody do that? I find myself, as I say, eating my words and having to do these things. I say having, but I've made that conscious choice to do these things and move into that vibrational alignment. And I feel that is because our vibration, our energy has changed. We've matured, we've expanded our frequency, and we're more open to being in alignment with these experiences than we were previously. So get ready to eat humble pie, everybody. Those of you that are going through a spiritual awakening. You'll also be aware of, I want to say, spirit voices, disembodied voices, and visions, like a daydream experience coming into your vibration as well. and also levels of inspiration, ideas to make your life smoother, to help you. And although you'll get inspiration for others to help them navigate through their life as well. And yeah, you'll notice your gut instinct a lot more as well. And that will be helping you govern, make more decisions, whether something is in alignment with your new vibration or whether it is out of alignment with your new vibration. So to summarize, spiritual awakening isn't something that you could just brush to one side. It will keep occurring. But hopefully with me addressing this today, it will give you a heads up of what to look out for, what to notice, and how you can persevere with it and make your new life in this new frequency alignment. How is everybody doing? I hope you're having a wonderful week and you've had a lovely weekend that's just gone. If you're anything like me, you're realizing that you need to take a little bit of time out and have elements of rest and recuperation, because this year is flying by really, really quickly. I still can't believe we're in March already. It's like, where is time going? So if you're anything like me, you'll feel slightly overwhelmed and a need to either just down tools and just take some time for self-reflection, relaxation, and stop yourself being in that adrenaline mode. Continually forcing yourself to move forward and do this and do that. I've got this to do, got that to do. Well, it is very much needed, I believe, just to take a little bit of time out wherever you can. Even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, it makes a massive difference in your vibration. So we're going to move into the next segment of this episode, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the information that they're bringing through.
Hello, it's a miracle that we've got through today with all what's going on in the universe. A lot of energetic frequencies are pulling and pushing and changing all the vibrations everywhere. So we've got through anyway. We want to talk to you about lots of different things actually. One of the first things is following your heart, following your bliss, following your pure unity, the unity that binds you with everything and everyone. Most of you are, shall we say, used to thinking with your brain, with your mind, and using that in order to calculate your way forward. What we would like to tell you about is actually when you listen to the rhythms and the feelings and the emotional stirrings of your heart, then that is more, shall we say, accurate in that respect. It connects you to your higher self and your true essence of who you are. Most of you follow that on a day-to-day basis. Other people are so busy doing this, that and the other that they forget about that, and everything has to fall into a pigeonhole in order to fit in their life, when in actual fact, when you slow down and you simply just be, life works with you and it works for you. So just be aware of that. Also, there's a lot going off around you in your vibrational existence on the earth plane. You will be aware of the truth vibrations coming to the surface. We've spoke about them often enough, but more so now than ever is it going to be blatant as the nose on your face. The truth is there for all to see. Now, obviously, it is a choice and a personal choice whether you wish to see that, whether you wish to interact with it, and whether you wish to invest your emotions, time and energy in it. But it will be there and it will be obvious. So just get yourself ready for that, alright? But what we're trying to allude to by having this conversation with you today is just to let you know that regardless of what's going off around you, all the chaos and all these truths coming to the surface, your natural mind will want to go into somersaults and it will want to try and make sense of it. What we're suggesting to you is that you simply follow that wisdom of your heart, and that will pull you through all of that nonsense, if that makes sense. We don't want you to get bogged down by all of this negative lower vibration. So by trusting your heart, that will keep you shining. It will keep you moving through. So also what's happening at the moment, there's a lot of people going through some physical changes within their body. Now, what I'm saying with this is you'll notice that, shall we say, the way that you breathe, the way that you look at things, maybe some aches and pains are coming to the surface. And these are like past hurts. These are past energies that are literally, like we said earlier, the truth vibrations are coming up. So that includes past hurts. That includes past energy that you don't need anymore. So it's all coming up to be released. So it's a period of transition that a lot of you will be going through. So be aware of any aches and pains. It's nothing medical as such. It's just the energy pushing its way through your physical form in order for it to be let go of and released. So that's all I've got to say today anyway, but I hope it's certainly given you a bit of food for thought and giving you that little bit of insight of what's to unfold for all of you. And that's right, you heard me correctly, I said all of you, because it is going to occur a little bit at a time, and it's going to occur at different times on your timeline for different people, depending upon where you're at vibrationally, so to speak. That will either increase your speed going through the process, or depending upon your choices and vibrations, it may slow it down. So just be aware of that. Anyway, we've got somebody else that wants to come through and have a little word with you, so I'm going to go now. Well, thank you for listening, and it'd be great to talk to you all soon. Bye for now.
Oh, what a joy it is to come through. Oh, I'm so elated. The fact that all this time I've wanted to come through and I haven't fully come through, but now I have. Anyway, enough about me. What I want to tell you is talk to you about divine love today. Divine love is a love that is like no other. It is a soul connection, vibrational love. And it's a frequency that emits, shall we say, you've had the frequency all along, but now all the truth vibrations, like the previous communicator spoke about, are coming to the surface. It's allowing that pure gem, that pure jewel in the crown, that love vibration to shine upon high. And all those that will be vibrating on this level will simply flock together. They will join together. They will just be magnetically aligned with one another. So it's a wonderful time for those of you that are ready and are willing and able to embrace this beautiful soul alignment that you're all going to experience. There's a lot also going along with this, some old hurts being let go of. Now, at one time, it would have been quite a painful experience for a lot of you. Now, I know the last communicator mentioned about the physical ailments related to this, what I'm referring to. But what I'm saying, it will happen a lot quicker. Maybe something that would have occurred and span over the course of a year or 2 years, and you've mistaken that feeling, that emotional feeling going through your physical body. You've associated that with a problem, with an ailment with the physical body. And what I'm saying to you is it is not at all. It's simply energy slowly at a lower vibrational rate being released through the physical body. Whereas now, what I am suggesting is that some of these vibrational hurts and attachments are going to push through very quickly. And what would have taken a year or 2 in the physical body will now take 5 to 7 days to push through. And when it does, you'll have energy like you've never experienced before in your existence in your physical body. And the energy I speak of is a high vibrational energy that gives you that get up and go. It gives you that energy to make more positive choices and make priorities in your life on what serves you as a soul, rather than obligations that you feel compelled to fulfill in your life. So be aware of all of this changing around you. And as you do so, we've mentioned it many times before, but we feel now it's coming so close to the point of it's going to unfold for you, we thought we'd again remind you of the fact that your eyesight, your senses, your vibration are going to get higher, and you will experience different levels of frequency. So you will start to see other beings, other shapes. You will start to see auras. You will start to see colors in your environment. They will appear more vibrant, more alive, whereas prior to this occurring, they seemed a little bit dull, a little bit grey around the edges, and, a little bit dowdy, whereas now they're going to be iridescent with energy, with colour, they'll have a glow about them, everything, no matter if that's an inanimate object or a moving life force, it will all have this new vibration, and you'll just align with that. Your emotions, however, are going to be increasingly sensitive, so we'd like you just to pay attention to them and maybe ask that internal question, is why am I feeling like this? Is this my vibration? Is it my energy? Or is it something or somebody else's? And this way will help you to remove any untoward energy blocks that are trying to infiltrate you on your life path. But it's all good. It's all good, and we're so pleased that everything's falling into place for a lot of you. A lot of you that are listening to this will experience tremendous amounts of joy in your life, and your dreams that you've been dreaming on for years and wanting to come into your present moments will start to now align, and you'll start to experience those dreams coming into your physical reality. So it doesn't matter what your dream is, as long as it is of a higher truthful vibration, you will all have that capacity to experience it in your now moments. So it's a joyous time for you all. Some of you won't believe it. You will be pinching yourself and saying, well, this is so unreal. It's just happened all of a sudden. And we say, no, it's been percolating under the scenes, under the surface for quite some time. It's simply the fact that all the Maya, shall we say, and all the rubbish, all the energetic noise in your universe, in your earth, in your dimension is being removed. So there's no blocks there to stop these things from happening. With that said, there's also the potential for your dominant thoughts, no matter what they are, your dominant feelings, if they're positive or negative. There's that strong reality, the potential that you will call that energy into your vibration. So be more mindful, and like we said earlier, having a priority on where you give your time and your attention will be your new focus. This will be your new way of being, and you'll start to accept that you are a divine creator, creating your environment and inspiring the environments of others around you who wish to align with your vibration. So there's a lot going on for everyone that's listening at the moment. But you will discover that you have an increased desire to want to visit other places, other lands, other opportunities to see different cultures and embrace and share this new level of love and light that you are now holding in your heart and in your existence. It's a beautiful feeling, and it's a feeling that must be shared with everything and everyone. And it will be. You'll notice wherever you go and whoever and whatever you interact with, you will leave an energetic calling card of love with them. And in doing so, it will make them feel special. It will make them feel uplifted, and it'll help them to connect with that true essence of love, of who they always have been, but have had too much, shall we call it, energetic noise and debris covering it up so they were unable to see. So for me, that's what I wanted to communicate with you today. So I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy, hectic schedules, your days, in order to listen to this it's a transmission. Sorry, I was struggling to get the words out there. It's this energetic transmission through the medium, the vessel that we are speaking through. So thank you for listening. I'd like to leave you in one moment with just one other communicator who's wanting just to bring one note of pure love through in the form of sound healing therapy. So bye for now, and embrace this beautiful energy as it comes through.
Absolutely incredible transmission there from the world of spirit. And I'm sure, I don't speak for myself, but there's a lot of information that we can all embody and take forward into our own lives. If you didn't know, I do teach an online trance mediumship development group designed for those sensitives or mediums that are wanting to take their mediumship to the next level. Whereas you've just heard, spirit can bring their transmissions and communications through to you. So if you're interested in that, please do get in touch. Anyway, we're going to move into the next segment of the show, which is a sneaky peek into this week's forecast reading. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday, the 9th of March 2026. Now, those of you that watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and also consult the wisdom of the angel tarot cards. So what I'm about to do is just shuffle the pack and allow a card for this week's energy forecast reading to present itself. So this is your card for this week's reading. I'm now going to link into the vibration of it. First of all, I'm being told subtleties. This week is about the small things in life that are going to have the greatest impact in your week. And this could be general kindness from other people. Just the fact that you've been in somebody's thoughts might mean the world to you this week. Also, I feel within this week, it's time to relax into life more so than what you have been doing. I do feel as though you've been pushing and striving ahead and scratching your head, how's this going to work? How's that going to work? Where this week will present some of those answers to those questions that have been vexing you for quite some time. But you must relax into life and stop trying to push or change or manipulate things. You'll find that the struggle is over once you start and do that. I do sense that there's going to be an increase with your financial situation improving this week as well, albeit very incrementally. I do feel as though that you'll notice a significant. This is the end of the free version of the weekly forecast reading. If you would like to see the entirety of this week's forecast reading, then you can do that by subscribing. And as a subscriber, what you will receive is the full version of the weekly forecast reading. You will also receive the audio for the weekly radio show, and also you'll receive 10% off all of my spiritual services there. So this includes all of the readings there for you to benefit from. And also you will receive new updates and information and news of what's happening with myself and the services that I provide, and also the events that I take part in. You'll hear all about that ahead of everybody else. And this is because you're a subscriber to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. So you can find a link either above or below this video, where by clicking on the link, you can then become a subscriber to reap all of the benefits that I've described to you. So I look forward to having you on this journey with me as a Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium subscriber. Thank you for taking time to watch this video and supporting the work that Spirit and myself work together in doing so. Sounds like a fascinating week, albeit a sneaky peek into hearing that. But I hope you've enjoyed this episode and the information brought through from Spirit. I hope it's given you some clarity and inspiration. If you're wanting to get in touch with myself or bring your questions to the show, you can contact me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com or email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. It will be fantastic to hear from you. Have a blessed week, everybody. See you the same place, same time with From Beyond Beyond with Glenn Boddice. God bless. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium